The idea of hypnosis may seem a bit mystical or magical. However, in essence, it is just the power of words and how they are used to bring about incredible changes. Now, when someone is in a state of hypnosis, the power of the critical, analytical, conscious mind is greatly diminished, and the subconscious becomes more focused and more positive, and thus more likely to accept suggestions that are made during that time. Now, the real magic behind hypnosis is the ability of the subconscious mind to listen to the words and to translate them into new ways of thinking and responding. Now, everything that we do in life, every action that we take is triggered by something. It's that cause and effect. Example, if you're thirsty, you're going to have a drink. If your phone rings, you answer it. If you're angry, you begin to get tense. If you feel stressed, you might want to eat, and so on. And there are so many, in the same way, there are so many unwanted behaviours that we have, which are triggered by an emotion or a negative feeling of some sort. For example, if you eat too much, it may be that you're eating because you're feeling a bit low or a bit down. If you bite your nails, it's probably because you're feeling a bit bored. If you have a cigarette, it might be that you're feeling a bit stressed. So at a conscious level, unfortunately, we don't often know what that cause is, and we're not maybe even aware of it. And in many cases, it might be really difficult, if not impossible, to change our reactions, which is why many habits, it's very difficult to give them up just based on willpower in a conscious way. However, when you're using hypnosis, you can really help to retrain or reprogram your mind to provide a different and a better response or trigger to what it is to your, getting myself all confused, but a response to the trigger. And this is done through the use of hypnotic suggestions. Now, there are two types of suggestions. We've got direct suggestions and then the really magical ones, which are the post-hypnotic suggestions. Now, direct suggestions are those that are related to things that will actually happen during a hypnosis session. So, for example, being asked to close your eyes, become aware of your hands, imagine you're on a beach, relaxing your muscles, and so on. And these are particularly useful if you are using hypnosis whilst going through a procedure, such as dental work, having an injection, dealing with pain, and of course, when you're in labour. Now, post-hypnotic suggestions are those that are used to bring about a desired change at some point in the future. So they are given to an individual whilst in hypnosis for an action or response to take place in the future after the hypnotic experience has ended. And these are specifically beneficial when using hypnosis to prepare for an actual event in the future. So maybe taking a driving test, passing an exam, doing a presentation, or of course, preparing for childbirth. And like everything in life, a post-hypnotic suggestion is set up with a cause or a trigger, followed by a response or an action. So if X happens, that's the trigger, then you want the response. So you want Y to be your response. For example, you hear your name, that's the trigger, you respond by relaxing your shoulders. An example would be maybe going to the fridge to eat something, even if you're not feeling particularly hungry. So the trigger would be going towards the fridge and opening the door. The old response might be that you take something out and eat it. Now, the new post-hypnotic suggestion that you could give yourself might be, as you go to the door, you stop, you take a deep breath, you ask yourself, do you really need to eat this now? Or you could make the feel of the fridge door on your hand or the noise of it opening a trigger to remind yourself of the resolution that you've made to only eat when you are truly hungry. Now, another example might be if you're using hypnosis to prepare for a big race or a presentation. It would be really impractical and unreasonable and a bit daft to be on the starting line of the race or on the podium and to ask everyone just to suddenly stop while you take yourself into hypnosis and give yourself direct suggestions. What you really need is to have done all of that mental preparation in advance so that your body and your mind automatically respond in the way that you have instructed and rehearsed it to. So by giving your mind a new set of experiences and responses, when the time comes, these are triggers in your mind that will automatically follow with a new set of responses. And clinical trials have proven the success of giving these types of suggestions whilst in hypnosis. Now, sometimes following post-hypnotic suggestions, you will need to have some conscious effort. It's not like it's like bam, magical and it just completely changes. But often after a short period of time, they become less conscious and far more automatic, and therefore your behaviour has changed. It's a bit like learning to drive a car. You know, when you first start, you're very aware of all the different things you need to do, which pedal to push, how to put on the indicators and so on. But after a while, it becomes in the muscle and you no longer need to think about it. So the more you practice, the more it becomes instinctive and easy. And with post-hypnotic suggestions, the more you hear them, the more your mind takes them on as your new reality. So by practicing them over and over again, when you then encounter that trigger for real, your mind is quick and instinctive at producing the desired response that you have been practicing. And remember, the mind does not know the difference between things that you have imagined and things that are real. So to finish, here is a quote from Dr. Meltz, who said, "Experimental and clinical psychologists have proved beyond a shadow of a doubt that the human nervous system cannot tell the difference between an actual experience and an experience imagined vividly in detail." So if you can imagine vividly and in detail a positive, calm, relaxed birthing experience over and over again, with all the positive suggestions of responding calmly, relaxing, breathing, staying focused, then the chances are that those suggestions will become reality when your body actually goes into labour. Take care for now.